My only real gripe about Gonzaga being mentioned as a 1 seed and being talked about so positively as being the only undefeated team that remains is the fact that the West Coast Conference is not nearly as strong as some of the power conferences. Yes, Mark Few's won a ton of games at Gonzaga. Yes, he does a great job there. Yes, they've got great players. But right now there are, I believe, 3 or 4 teams with winning records in the West Coast Conference. And then like the other 6 or 7 are either 500 or have losing records. So, I don't think having to play Portland and Pepperdine every night is as difficult as having to go and play, at Duke, at Louisville, at Florida State, at Syracuse, at Notre Dame. I don't think it's quite the grind that other leagues have. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, yes, they do have St. Mary's. They do have BYU, and I think San Francisco is the other team above 500 right now. But, for instance, I think Duke was in like 8th or 9th place in the ACC last time I looked. They're my favorite team. We're struggling a little bit right now, but I think we're going to get better. But the 8th or 9th place team in the West Coast Conference is Portland right now, and they've got a 9-11 record. Duke is sitting at 15-5, I think. Portland is 9-10 or 9-11. They're not that great. That's the difference, And obviously I don't think, has Gonzaga never gotten to a Final Four, I don't think. If they lose early in the tournament this year, I would say that's why. Because while they're beating Portland and Pepperdine, they're not playing quite the grind that like a Duke or a Notre Dame would in the ACC, or like an Indiana or a Michigan State or a Michigan would play in the Big Ten. That's the only thing I have against them, Mark Few's a really good story at Gonzaga. Actually, Dan Lonson should have stayed there. He went to Minnesota, got fired, and is now at Long Beach State. But he was at Gonzaga as the head coach before Mark Few assumed the head coaching role. And, yeah, they have a great team and a great tradition at Gonzaga, but I think they need to join a conference like the Pac-10. Well, oh wait, that shows my age. It's now the Pac-12 in basketball to prove their worth. If they can go to Arizona, to UCLA, to Cal, to Stanford, to Arizona State, to Washington, to Oregon, etc., and win night after night in a tough league like that, that will prove that I have a moot point. Maybe y'all be saying I have a moot point after they march to the title this year. Who knows? But that's just my thoughts.